Hey friends, Shawn here with Manly Made Minute, and welcome back to another episode of Monday Moments where I share tips, tricks, and helpful hints. I am pretty excited about today's tip. We've all seen it. We've seen the strip down the middle of a card where we tear the edges, we ink blend, and we get some really cool edging from ink blending around teared edges, correct? Hopefully so. I've got another idea that you can use to do the same exact kind of concept, but just different look. And it's actually pretty cheap to do. The supplies are extremely cheap if you don't have them. I bought them at a local craft store, very cheap. So before we get started, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Would love to have you follow along here on YouTube, as well as Manly Made Minute on Instagram, where I share posts and all kinds of stuff there as well. Let's head on down to my down table and take a look. So here's what we're going to do. If you remember as a kid getting a pack or a couple of these cool funky scissors that create cool edges, it's on here what the edging does. We're going to cut some masking tape, cut the edges, lay that down, and instead of tearing it, that's going to be our edge. So it's just something a little different, something a little fun, another little tool that you can use these. So these are half of the pack. And so these are the different edges that you have, or that I have here with this little stash of them. And how fun would these look blended out? Let's give it a try. I'm going to actually try this one because I just like the different levels of variegation on that. So we're going to try this one. And I'm going to use some Post-it tape, 3M Post-it tape. And I'm going to just tape my card base down onto my glass mat just to hold it in place. Because I want to kind of line this up so I can keep this kind of straight when I do the tape. All right? So we're just going to make sure I've got enough tape to go over that whole edge, like so. All right? And then we're just going to take and cut one edge of this with these scissors. And these are the type of scissors that you don't have to make sure that you're lining it up perfectly, because it'll just blend as you cut anyway. Okay? And you gotta kind of, they're cheap, so you gotta kind of pinch as you cut just to get it to kind of slice together. All right, there's one. And I'm just going to line this up on the edge of my card so that I have the width about like so, and then I can leave that middle because this is the width of 1 inch. And I'm just going to line up my edge, my cut edge right here with this line on my mat because I don't want this to get too wide. All right? And we're just going to seal that down really nice along that edge. And we'll do one more. So we get this on both sides, okay? You got to kind of like squeeze this together to make sure you get a good cut on it with these cheap little scissors. I mean, they were probably, I think this came with like 13 scissors, I think, for literally like $1 a piece. So it's not an expensive tool, but it's a fun tool nonetheless, right? Okay, same thing. I'm just going to line this up with the line on my mat and make sure I've got it spaced evenly along the edge here, but lining it up with this line. Okay. All right, let's just clean off those little middle pieces that fell there, like so. Seal your edge down really good. All right, now I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see. Let me move that centered there. I'm going to use a aqua and a pink to blend this. I'm going to do my aqua in the middle, pink on the outside. So I'm going to start with my aqua. And this is a pretty dark aqua. So I'm just going to go pretty light. And I've got it juiced up. So I'm not going to hardly put any pressure on this because I don't want this super inked up. I just want a nice blend when I do this with the pink. And again, my 3M tape, not super expensive. I bought a huge pack of this 1 inch strip, and then I think they're 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch strips, or size for the 3M tape in a like an economy pack. So pretty cheap tools for just a really cool effect. All right, let me just get a little bit more along these edges because I really want those edges to pop and really show out. All right, and bring that in towards the middle. And now I'm just going to do the same exact thing with my pink, not a heavy hand, and blend these two together. I should get more of a lilac purpley kind of with these blended together in the middle, so I get kind of a 3 shades out of this was my goal. And I can see that almost a lilac light purple popping in the middle there, which is what I was going for between these colors. You get a nice ombre kind of blend when you do these. Sorry about the shake. I'm trying to hold my counter. It's not screwed down here in my new studio, so it does get a little shaky when I ink blend. Nothing I can do about that. So hopefully it's not making you too dizzy. And think about this. How quick is this as well? And I think you could use, I do a lot of scrap stuff, right? You could use strips of white paper and just do these on strips and lay this down. So you've got options, I think, with this. Let's get just a little bit more ombre in there. And then I like to go back one last time with that first color to blend it back out. All right, then we're going to take this one and we're just going to blend out my edges on that and soften that down. Bring that pink in just a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's do the peel and reveal, right? Very gently and pulling it away and slow, so because this, got a little tack to it, but how cool. Nice and even, right? So if you're a little OCD and you like the evenness, this is perfect for you because you just get a nice edge on that. I think this is so cool. Lay some butterflies down the middle, a nice floral kind of right in the middle would be just awesome with this. Ink splatter this, which I think is what I'm going to do when I'm done to make a card out of this, but ink splatter it and check that out. What a great effect. Now think about all these other designs. You get a little scallop on this one. We get a little bit more of a zigzaggy torn on this one. So you've got options when you buy a big economy pack like this, right? So there you have it. Thank you so very much for hanging with me. Appreciate you all. Let me just show you from the front side. Kind of cool, don't you think? So thank you all for hanging with me. And until next time, I'll see you then.